Hello everyone, how are we today? So today is the normal standard what I've been watching video. I've got a big stack as always to go through to tell you what I've been watching, so without any further ado we're just going to get right into it. First in the pile, I've been doing a marathon of the DCEU films. Been working my way through them slowly. I've been watching some of my new additions that I've been watching. So first off I've got Man of Steel. Picked this up on 4K last month. This is the first time I've rewatched it in a couple of years. Actually really liked it. I actually liked its pacing. I think it was very good. The acting from the cast was very good. Thought it looked stunning on 4K. It was shot beautifully, and yeah, I do really like what's his face, or Michael Shannon. I think it's Michael Shannon who plays Zod. I think he plays Zod very well. But yeah, this was actually a really fun film. And yeah, it's actually gone up more in my expectations. I actually quite enjoyed this personally. I think it's actually a really fun film. I actually quite like Man of Steel. I think it's quite underrated. Next I watched, following on from that, I watched the new Ultimate Edition that I got of Justice League, not Justice League, Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Cut, brand new released. It's like got newly restored 4K bits in it, like with the IMAX shots, and I will say those IMAX shots look phenomenal. It's a bit jarring, some of it jumps from 4:9 to widescreen, but I eventually got past that. But I will say though, the new bits that they've added back in, there's a few rejigs here and there, edit wise, as well as the newly remastered IMAX bits. But yeah, overall I thought it looks really good. I will admit the new bits look really nice. Story wise, yeah, I actually quite enjoy this as well. I think I might prefer, I don't know what I prefer, if I prefer this or Man of Steel. But yeah, I do really like this. I think this is a really good sequel to Man of Steel, personally. I do think it's a bit of a missed opportunity in places. And I can't... Lex going on about using Superman as a metaphor for God is a pain in the ass. But yeah, overall, still really enjoyed this film. I thought it was really good. Next one, following on from that, in the wave, I'd never actually seen this one ever before. And I bought this on Steelbook ages ago. And I hadn't watched it, but I actually ended up watching it twice this month, and that is Wonder Woman on 4K Steelbook. First time watching, I thought this was a bit mid. I thought it was a very stand-out-ish compared to like the previous two films and then Snyder Cut. But I still think it has, because Zack and Nolan were still on board with this one in some places. You can still feel those bits, like you can still feel like it still feels like it fits within that universe. I still think it's pretty good. Some of the acting is a bit piss poor and it feels very Captain America-esque, but at the same time I still really enjoy it. I really enjoyed Diana. The CGI is a bit bad in this, like I feel like some of the action is a bit jarring because of the overuse of CGI, like when the women are jumping from off horses and stuff like that. I feel like there's people out there that can surely do skills like that. I don't know. But yeah, after watching it the second time, I'd say I much more enjoy it. It's definitely not the worst film that came out in that era of films, but yeah, definitely enjoy this one. Next, I can't believe I actually sat and watched this, but I did, and I realised how much I actually hated it. That is Joss Whedon's Justice League. This is honestly a hodgepodge film. This is actually really shit. I don't know how anyone could defend this. Like, you can see all the stuff that Zack's filmed and how badly it's been butchered. All the reshoot stuff is awful. The dialogue from the reshot stuff that's in this and not in the Snyder Cut is ridiculous. Like, the bit where Superman has Batman up and going doing that whole fucking monologue is really bad. Just this film is an abomination. You don't actually know how the mother boxes work. They're just entities, really. There's nothing really to describe how they actually work in the previous. This film, honestly, it's really bad. I will not be going out my way to watch this anytime soon. I'll only do this again if I'm doing a video on this, or if I'm gonna do a big double dip marathon. But yeah, special features and stuff like that on there. Following on from that, I will be watching this again this evening with some mates, but yeah, that'll probably pass over. But yeah, after watching that, I had to watch this again because it's next in the marathon. I watched Snyder Cut. This is like the third time that I've sat through and watched this. I can see why people don't like. People really don't like this. some people could just say it's just not their type of film. Some people just say it's too much not like the comic books. That argument, not like a comic book, I don't like that anymore. Like, nothing's like the comic books, really. The Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't really like the comics. It's more like, just because they borrow stuff, it's just someone's own interpretation. I don't know, but that's a long old story. Yep, still really like this. I think this is a very good film, personally. I feel like it's one of the best superhero films I've watched. I'm emotionally invested all the way through. I think the character development is much better here, and especially when you watch the Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Wonder Woman, it just makes this even better. But yeah, I really like this. Looks really good on 4K, and yeah, I'm really glad that we have this on physical media, and I'm glad that the Americans can now have this on physical media, because and it's really weird that we got this first. That I find funny, because that never happens. But yeah, that is how far I am into my DCEU. Next will be, I think it's Shazam or Aquaman. I think Shazam came out first, I'm not too sure. But yeah, those are all the DC films that I've seen. Next, I'm going to go into my, collector's edition stuff that I've picked up. So my boutique labels and stuff like that, and what I've been watching. So I've done a review on this one, and I've mentioned it in my pickup video. I got it this month. The only Arrow video title that I've actually watched this month and picked up, that is The Stylist. Really like this film. I think it's shot brilliantly. It looks great. The colours are great. The acting is great. I think Jill, the director, did a fantastic job on this. Basically, it's about a woman who's having a mass identity crisis, and basically she wants to be in other people's lives because she feels like a nobody, basically, and doesn't know who she really wants to be. And then yeah, some cool kills. It's very a bit gory in places, but yeah, I still really like this. This edition is very nice. I actually can't wait to sit down and rewatch this, because I want to show more people this, because I feel like this is a very nice film, and I kind of want to see something else by Jill. I want to know what's next in the pipeline, you know, what's going to be next. But yeah, that is The Stylist on Arrow Video, and I will say that I really love this edition. Really love it. Next, we go into the second sight films. There's going to be a link for that Stylist review, and there's going to be a link for this down below. But this is a pickup. This is Lake Mungo. This is not a second sight special edition. Nice hard box. Yep, I really like this. I really wanted to see this after I saw the review for it, going in depth about it, and then my housemate saying that it was really good. Watch this. This is really good. This is a Netflix documentary that was ahead of its time. This is obviously before Netflix was a thing. But if you like the style of like how they shoot stuff, like the Ted Bundy tapes or Tiger King or Wild Wild Country, the way that they shoot it and put it together, this is for you, because this is really like that. It's a mockumentary horror story, and honestly, I couldn't recommend this film highly enough. I think this is a great little piece. This is like, apart from the two shorts, this is the only thing the director theatrically ever directed, because it didn't do very well. But I highly recommend picking this up. If you can get a hand on this special edition, would recommend it, because the art cards and the booklet is really nice. I think this is just a nice addition all round. But yeah, Lake Mungo, highly recommended from me. Highly recommended. Another second sight film that I picked up, watched, sorry. I picked this up last month as well. My housemate said this was, I would probably enjoy this because I really enjoy Climax. This edition is really nice, and that is Raw, the French cannibalism film. Yep, this was really good. I really enjoyed this. It was a very fast-paced film. Our lead actress, she was really good. The setting was really good, and as the I like how it's called Raw, because it's to do with like raw meat. But the emotion as well really links in. It's very raw feeling. I think that's something very clever. There's some very, very dark bits in this. The fight where she has with her sister as well, Jesus Christ, and just there's some very disturbing scenes, like where the hair stuff bit as well. Ugh. But yeah, I actually highly recommend this film. I think this is a great French horror film. I would highly recommend this film. This is a great French horror film, honestly. Raw is fantastic, and this edition is so nice. Like, after I unboxed it, I generally couldn't stop holding it, just like this. I just really like holding it and moving about in my hands. Yeah, Raw, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And Second Sight, you're smashing it with these fucking special editions. These are so nice. The final Second Sight film that I watched, Standard Black Case. I picked this up last month as well because I really wanted to watch this because of another when that came out. But that is Short Circuit on Second Sight. This was really fun. great 80s kids film, great 80s fun. Oh, I really loved it. Johnny Five, fantastic. The robot props in this is great. This walked so Wally could run. This is so much fun. Also has Ali, what's her face? Ali Thingy. She's from Breakfast Club. You know, the like weird quiet one. Weird quiet. You know what I mean? We're all weird. But yeah, Short Circuit. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed it throughout. I love Johnny Five. He's so great. Input. But yeah, it's basically about a robot that gets struck by what is it? A military robot gets struck by lightning and he becomes sentient and then just starts getting data and stuff like that. The bit where he's outsmarting the army as well, that's class. This film is great. I highly recommend picking up this second sight edition. Yeah, but Short Circuit is a really fun film and I really recommend it. Going into the 88 films now, as that film might suggest, I also picked this up last month if you remember seeing it, but I wanted to get that one because I wanted to watch this, and that is Short Circuit 2. I'm going to say I actually preferred this film. I thought this was so much fun watching Johnny Five run around. I think it's supposed to be New York, or maybe somewhere else, or Boston. I don't know where it's supposed to be. Anyway, he's running around the big city. He's getting into loads of shenanigans. He's more himself. Like, there's so much more personality in him. We get a new character. We get one character from the old film, who was the guy who created its lab partner. He also, like, they were partners who created the robots, but he's one of the original creators who created Johnny Five. But yeah, he's here, and it's basically he's become a toy salesman, and he's trying to sell off the little versions of Johnny Five, and yeah, he gets the sale, but he has to make 1,000 of them. So Johnny Five gets sent over to help make it, and watching the shenanigans that Johnny Five gets into is fantastic. This edition as well, highly recommend it if you're a fan of the Short Circuit films. I was not a fan prior to picking these up, but now I have picked them up. I'm glad I have, because this edition is one of my favourite special editions. It comes with great art cards, a great double-sided poster, a great thick booklet, a great hard box. Just highly recommend the Short Circuit special edition if you haven't. These two films, great films, but I actually say this one's better in my opinion. Next, in the 88 films, I've watched some of them. I've been going back. I did a bit of a back catalogue and actually went through. And the first one I started watching, I actually watched the Urban Legends trilogy for the first time in years. So we're going to now go through it. Obviously, you've got Urban Legends 1. This is directed by the guy who edited the first I Know What You Did Last Summer. But anyway, I actually really like this film. I've got a big fan of like 90s slashers. I'm a big fan of slashers in general. They're my favourite bit in horror. But yeah, I really like this film. I think the cast is really cool. I do really like the way the twist comes about and how they've integrated the urban legends and stuff like that have really worked its way into the story. And I like how like Ryan Guy mentioned that it is kind of sort of ahead of its time. Like if this was more in the if this came out in the early 2000s, I think this would have sat better, because obviously creepypastas and stuff like that. But yeah, I do think this is really good. I do like the killer. I do like the twist of who the killer is actually, and how that integrates into the story. Yeah, I actually quite like Urban Legends, and the music as well. The music was really good. The transfer on this looks very good as well. I must say though, I'm not really that fan of this cover. I prefer the standard Blu-ray cover for this. But anyway, I still enjoyed Urban Legends 1, and I think this was a fun horror film. And actually, it's probably one of my favourite 90s slashers. Urban Legends 2, the final cut. I've had a soft spot for this ever since I saw it back in the day. I thought it was a fun sequel. I think it follows on quite well. I like how we have the security guard lady from the first one. She's back as a returning character. And I like how that links into this one. And yeah, I do really like this. I do like this film. A lot more gorier in places. It does feel like it's trying to be a little bit like Scream 2 in a couple places, but at the same time, I do like this. And because it's set in a film, school as well, I quite like that even more, just because I'm a film student, so I enjoy that a lot more. These films aren't going to be for everyone, but I actually really enjoy this. And the double twist ending at the end, really loved it. But yeah. But unfortunately, with the sake of any good 90s slashers thriller spin-off from Scream, you get two good ones, and then you don't get a final film. But in this, you get Bloody Mary, Urban Legends 3. This was not a good film. This really doesn't hold up. The transfer doesn't look that good. The CGI doesn't look that good. The acting really isn't that good. The story is sort of a mixture of the first one mixed with a bit of a supernatural feel. I feel like this would have worked better for a fourth one or a reboot to the series or a spin-off than an actual trilogy, if that makes sense. Like, I wish we had a sequel to these two and then they tried to do this one. But yeah, this is not that good. I didn't really enjoy it. It's very forgettable, I'm not going to lie. These two are a hell of a lot more memorable, like, more memorable cast, like, but yeah, the Bloody Mary, not for me. But overall, I did really enjoy sitting through the Urban Legends trilogy. I've not, like I said, haven't seen number 1 and 2 for years. I'd never seen Bloody Mary, so it was nice to sit through. And I'm really glad that I had this big box set because, yeah, big sucker for these 90s slashers, big sucker. But yeah, that's the Urban Legends trilogy. Next, because I was in the mood for it, I decided, and I hadn't watched this since I picked it up, I decided to go through the I Know What You Did Last Summer box set. Because I'm, like I said, big sucker for 90s slashers, and I'm happy that I had this, and because of the Urban Legends box set, it got me in the mood. So let's go through them. So first off, we've got I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think this was actually a very good film, personally. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s acting was a bit wooden in places, but overall I think it was a good story. The twist is well hidden in, like, how the twist is well intertwined into the actual film itself. Like the double twist. Like, if you're paying attention, you can see it coming. But I do really like this. I think this is a fun twist on the man with the hook hand, urban legend. But yeah, this was really good. Did like Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar. She was great in this. Playing the only one in this who was playing against typecast at the time, because obviously she was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But yeah, highly recommend the first one. I think it's really good. I think this was actually quite fun. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I think this was a great follow-on. I like how Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are back with new friends. I like the setting. I like the twist in this as well. Like who the killer is in this one. But yeah, I actually think this is actually quite a fun sequel, personally. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this as much because I generally couldn't remember anything about it, even though I had seen it back in the day. But yeah, highly recommend this film as well. I think these two are good sequels to one another, work very well. But unfortunately, this was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was left with a wide opener, and guess what? We never got a sequel. We never got a good sequel. We got this. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and this is trash. I did not enjoy this. I generally couldn't tell you what the fuck was going on, who any of the characters are. This was just sort of like, again, this is sort of like copying what the first one did, but with a supernatural twist to it. So, not really a fan. Yeah, not really a fan at all. It's just arguably so much worse. These two look like they're well made. This does look like it was not made with any care whatsoever, which is a shame. But yeah, overall, I do enjoy the first two. The third one kind of sucks. No, sorry, it does suck. But overall, I did really enjoy sitting through watching this box set. Very fun. I'm definitely going to watch the Scream franchise after this. I would love 88 Films to do a big Scream box set like that, or a Final Destination box set. I think that would be pretty sick. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the TV series that I've seen this month. My housemate and I sat down and watched a TV show called Barry, which has what's his face from Superbad in it and Saturday Night Live. But Barry is a very good TV show. It's about a hitman who doesn't want to be a hitman anymore. He wants to be an actor, and he's trying so hard to be an actor and not a hitman. Honestly, one of the funniest TV shows I've ever seen. It's got one of the best title intros as well. I highly recommend watching Barry. It was just really fun. I don't know where you can watch it on, but yeah, Barry is really good. I might try and pick it up on physical because it's really hard to get a hold of online because I think you have to pay for it all. But yeah, highly recommend Barry. After that, we watched Fleabag with can't remember her name. I think it's Phoebe Waller-Bridges. But yeah, really good TV show, really good British comedy. It's so funny and yet so dark all at the same time. I got one of the best title sequences as well. I really want to do my intro on the style of Fleabag. But yeah, Fleabag was really good, really well acted. I never thought I'd hate Olivia Colman in any role, but here we are. Absolutely despised her in it. Oh, she was so good at playing a bad woman. Like, it's actually insane. Insane. I really was not a fan of her in that. She was awful in a good way, a great way. Next, another TV show that I watched was Garth Morengi's Dark Place. I just came home one night after being out with my mates, getting fucked up, and my housemate was just watching it. I sat down and watched 3 episodes with him, and I fell in love with it. I immediately, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I've literally rewatched that show so much this month. I love it so much. It's basically the guy who, Matthew, can't really remember, John from Mondo Chalabic Movies. Hi John, he knows the name if you've been watching his roundup videos this month. He's basically the guy who directed Possum, and he's in Bruiser and stuff like that, a bit in Peep Show as well. But yeah, it's basically like an English version of Twin Peaks if it was really badly written and made, basically. And finally, the TV show, well actually no, I've watched some more TV stuff, but I'll go into that in a bit. Finally, the TV show we are watching together at the moment, that we're on our rewatch at the moment, and that is Twin Peaks. So we are currently on Twin Peaks Season 2. We're almost at the reveal of who the killer is. I'm not going to tell you who the killer is because that just spoils all of Twin Peaks. But yeah, watch the pilot. Fantastic. I'm just going to say it, just like all of, the pilot, all of Season 1 and the first 8 episodes of Season 8 just are fantastic. It's just, there's so much love and care put into it. I think it's one of the best TV shows I think it's ever done. All the soap opera elements that are just wastes of time are great as well, like when Cooper and Harry are trying to sort out a chair, like a stool to sit on. If you know that scene, you know that scene. But yeah, I think this is well paced, well directed. You're not going to get it the first time you're watching it because there's so much like it's all wrapped in mystery basically. But honestly, this is one of my favourite TV shows of all time. I'm so glad we're sat through watching it. But yeah, we're almost on the bad bit of Season 2. So yeah, hopefully I still enjoy the latter half of Season 2. There's just some bits where I feel like it loses focus in a lot of spots. But yeah, that is Twin Peaks. You'll probably see this again next month because by that time we'll have watched all of Season 2 and The Return. But yeah, really love this box set, and the Blu-ray transfers are fantastic, I will say. I do like how on this box set it comes with all the featurettes, whereas the DVD version only comes with like your standard episodes, and the only like episodical extra you can get is like the Log Lady intros. Those are great. I do love those. If you have the DVD version, I would especially watch those. But whereas this one comes with like the previously on Twin Peaks, next time on Twin Peaks as well, which are clearly taken from like tapes that someone had, so those aren't the best quality, but the actual picture quality on the Blu-ray of the actual episodes looks fucking stunning. Highly recommend this for the picture quality. But yeah, in some ways I do say the DVD set's better, just because I like how it does the Log Lady intro and then the episode and then that's it. The next time and previously can be a bit annoying. I could probably just take the previously instead of the next time. I don't know. But yeah, Twin Peaks, the complete television series, will slowly making our way through it. But yeah, some more films now. Obviously we watched that. We watched Firewalk with me as well, which we actually did it in chronological order because story-wise Firewalk with me comes first, but I'm just telling you, if you've never seen Twin Peaks, do not watch Firewalk with me first. Only watch Firewalk with me first if you've already watched all of Twin Peaks from series 1 to Firewalk with me, The Return. That's how you do watch it on your first viewing. I swear to God, if you come to me and you say you've watched Firewalk with me first, you can leave my channel because it just ruins the whole mystery. But yeah, Firewalk with me is a very emotional tale which actually relives the moments of Laura Palmer's death up to when she dies. It's not a spoiler. Laura Palmer being dead is the main point of Twin Peaks, so it's not a spoiler. That's literally what the whole show revolves around. But yeah, it's really nice to actually spend time with Laura and see the shit that she went through and actually help fill in some of the other stuff that helps fill out some blanks in series 1 and 2, and also helps you some stuff that's brought up in the return as well. But yeah, I really like Firewalk Me. It's one of my favourite films, in my top 30, and I'm really happy that they've now announced it for pre-order in the UK on Criterion. Pre-ordered mine as soon as I saw it, but yeah, very happy to have that. Another film me and my housemate watched, it was the same night we watched Raw actually. We watched Blues Brothers. It's the first time I've ever seen Blues Brothers, and I must say it was one of the funniest films I've ever seen in my life. There's some batshit stuff going on in it, like the nun who moves back on her own. I don't know how she does that. The 100 car pile up, the way they go over the bridge. It's a fun film. It's so wacky and so out there, but honestly, it's one of the coolest films I've ever seen in my life. There's a 4K edition of it out in there. I'm gonna try and pick that up with a slip, because that just seems like it was just such a great film, and I would love to see the 4K transfer. But yeah, honestly, it was such a great film. I really enjoyed watching it, and I really want to rewatch it again. Another film we watched was Ghost Rider. Rewatched that for the first time in ages, and yeah, it was boring, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it for the meme back in the day, like with Nicolas Cage just going and screaming and going around that horrible of it, like going round and round him with the camera. That was awful, but yeah. No, it was just not as that enjoyable as it was, not even for the meme. It was just a bit naff. I do really want to rewatch Spirit of Vengeance though, because that film was arguably even worse. But yeah, Ghost Rider. That 2000s slot for Marvel films is fantastic in it. It's actually fantastic. Next, I watched this all the way through because I just fancied watching it because I got it picked it up this month, and I did skim through it for the review to look at the picture quality, but then I sat down one night and watched it all the way through, and that is Godzilla vs. Kong. 7th time I've watched this film. I've spoken to this to death already. Great monster battles. Looks fantastic in 4K. Out of all 4 films, I would say this is the most shallow. As by that I mean like the lore of the Hollow Earth and stuff like that. I personally find that really interesting, but some people really don't. They just want to watch the monsters fight. But yeah, I'll take what I can get. But yeah, this looked really good. I really enjoyed watching this, and yeah, I'm not really going to spend too much time talking about it because I've talked about it loads. But fantastic, great to have this lovely steelbook on 4K. Next, I sat and watched the whole Blu-ray box set. This is back to the TV stuff. I finally sat and watched this because of a box set that has come out, which you will have seen the review and in my pickup video. But yeah, I watched the season before it, and I watched all of Doctor Who season 23, Trial of a Time Lord. So this is the last season before Sylvester McCoy joins. This is Colin's last season. This was filmed during a time where Doctor Who was wanting to be axed by the higher up in the BBC, and fans were like, no, we don't want that. So they gave him an extra season to try and get up the ratings, and that's what this is. A bit on the nose with the trial, but yeah, because he literally was on trial for his life, basically. So this big overarching 14-season story, like 14-episode season, made up of 4 stories, in which the Doctor, it's like a Christmas past sort of thing. It's like a past, present, and a future sort of thing. So we have The Mysterious Planet, which was penned by Robert Holmes. I think that was actually really good. I think it's really well written. Something about Robert Holmes' writing is the characters have really witty dialogue, because he was a very well-rounded person, because he was a police officer, so he had spoke to a lot of people in his life. So you can really see that reflected in his characters, in my opinion. But yeah, I did really like it, and I like how the events of the first episode come up more in the ultimate foe of why this trial is happening. Mind Warp, the return of Syl, I quite like that, and Perry's Last Adventure, sadly. I think it's also really well done. I like this whole idea of like the Matrix is being manipulated to make it look like the 6th Doctor was being a bastard, basically. Yeah, really like that as well. Great to see Syl back as well. Syl was fantastic as a villain. I love him. Terror of the Vervoids. Really like Terror of the Vervoids. I think it's a great murder mystery. Introduction of Mel. Obviously, she's just, because it's a future story, you don't actually get to introduce to her yet. I also watched the special edition version of Terror of the Vervoids with the new re-edit and the new effects, and without all the court scenes in it. Fantastic edition. Love the standalone edition of Terror of the Vervoids. For sure, the best thing about this is that standalone edition. And yeah. And The Ultimate Foe, I actually enjoyed it a lot more this time around. I didn't enjoy it the last rewatch I had of this last year when I was doing my marathon. But yeah, really enjoyed it a lot more. I really want to pick up that Sixth Doctor audio adventure that tells that does The Ultimate Foe but better, basically. I want to see that because it's a better hurrah for the Sixth Doctor. But overall, I actually really like this season, really like this box set. Yeah, it's glad that I've actually sit down and watched this now, ready to sit through the season 24 box set. But yeah, that is season 23 of the Doctor Who Collection Blu-ray. Speaking of the theme of Doctor Who, I'm going to go with this one first because I've actually watched this all the way through, even though chronologically it comes after the next episode I'm going to talk about. But yeah, I was just sat there in the living room and I was thinking about how much I love this episode, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to put it on and watch it. So I put it on, I watched a special edition of it that's on the Blu-ray, but I'm just going to bring out the standard edition here, and that is The Curse of Fenric. Hands down one of the best McCoy episodes. It's hands down one of the best Doctor Who stories of all time. I hadn't actually seen this episode till last year, and in the space since that first viewing, I've now watched this episode at least 6 times because this story is so good. The way the story interplays with each other and just the music, the score, it's just so good. The mystery, just everything about it, like all these moving parts that are in this story, is just fantastic. I think it's just one of the best stories. Just honestly, if I was going to recommend some stories from Sylvester McCoy, Curse of Fenric would be one of them. I'd probably be one of the Doctor Who stories I would recommend to people because it's just so much fun. This I started watching because I was watching a couple episodes the other day, getting myself ready for the box set release, but I stuck on Time on the Rani. I watched the first 2 episodes, haven't finished it yet. I've watched the 2 first episodes again, and I watched The Last Chance Saloon. Yeah, it's actually not as bad as I remember it being. I really like the interactions with Sylvester McCoy and Kay O'Mara. I think they have a great working chemistry. The Tetraps I really like as well. I think the supporting cast is alright, Mel's alright. Just, yeah, I need to sit down and finish it and see like what the actual plot of the story is. I can't really remember too much about, but yeah, I need to sit down and watch this. Still pissed off Last Chance Saloon isn't on the Blu-ray box set, but yeah, still happy to have the Blu-ray and be going through that. I'll probably watch all of season 24 next month, so you'll see the full opinion in the next video. And finally this month, the last film that I actually checked out and watched, this was with Lauren. We finally watched this. This is her second subscriber mail from me. This is one of her favourite films of all. No, it is her favourite film of all time. And yeah, she bought this for me because I hadn't seen it and we wanted to sit and watch it. But we sat and watched it finally. And yeah, David Cronenberg's The Fly. This is the 3rd film by him I've seen now. This was really good. Jeff Goldblum and what's her face? Gina Davis. She was great in this. Like the woman, Mumford Stewart Little, fantastic leading cast. I really like the story. I think that classic sci-fi story is really amped up here and done really well. Also, what is it with David Cronenberg's idea of the flesh, like and stuff like that? It comes up in everything. Like I know obviously the premise of The Fly, but the way that Jeff Goldblum talks about flesh in this big free from it just reminds me a lot of like Crash and Videodrome. But yeah, no, this was really good. Body horror was really good. The acting was really good. The emotions were there. Yeah, the score as well. Lauren mentioned to me when we were watching it, the score was really good, and she was right. The score is fantastic. Yeah, this was really good. I really like The Fly. The Fly was really good. Yeah. Definitely one of the best remakes I've ever seen in my life. I think this was so good. I do want to sit and watch the second one. Hopefully I can find the second one on Blu-ray. And yeah, I'll watch that. But yeah, David Cronenberg's The Fly. Great horror film. Great 80s horror film. And yeah, that's it guys. That's everything I've watched this month. Tell me in the comments below, what have you watched this month? Any of these films that you've seen that you really like? I know you're going to comment, Lauren, about The Fly, because she's happy that I like it. Anything in here that you think is really good? Anything in here you think is really bad? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Anything in here that you think that I've given a great recommendation for that you think you're going to go out and watch? Well, that's it, ladies and gents. That's the whole video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. I've now got to go out and do some stuff. I might go do some Blu-ray hunting, but apart from that, yeah, go watch a film, go Blu-ray hunting, go enjoy yourself, and yeah, have a good one, guys. Peace.